Hey, it's Lemon. Welcome to the Backlogs. Today we're going back to Monster Hunter World so that we can play the game completely wrong. I'm sure you've read the title by now, but just in case you're half asleep, I'll read it for you. Today we're going to find out if we can beat Monster Hunter World with only our Kinsect. Normally I'd dive right into the rules, but before we do that, I need to address something. Chances are, anyone who's a big Monster Hunter fan is already typing furiously down in the comments, probably about Team Darkside and how they've already beaten the final boss of Iceborne with just a Kinsect. To which I say, yeah, they have. But you know what they didn't do? Play through the entire game with just a Kinsect. Now, don't take that the wrong way. Team Darkside's endgame builds are amazing to see in action. One-shotting monsters, dominating speedrun categories, and all around just embarrassing the bosses of this game. It's great stuff, and you should definitely give it a watch. But there was a key word in that heap of praise I just laid out. Endgame. So, while the answer is a proven yes, a Kinsect can in fact kill all the monsters in the game, our actual question is, can you even get that far if that's your only method of damage throughout the entire run? We good? Everyone know what we're doing here? I'm still gonna get like 35 sassy comments down below that only say the word yes and nothing else. Why do I even bother? Anyway, while I climb up Zora Magdaros, let's go over the rules. First, the only method of damage I'm allowed to use throughout the entire run is my Kinsect. That means no consumables, no slinger ammo, no palico assistance, and no insect glaive attacks. 3 caveats to this one though. Caveat A, I'm allowed to use the marking attack. I don't think it actually does any direct damage. It's called Kinsect attack in the move list, and it's a large part of the Kinsect's moveset, so it'd be silly not to include it. Caveat B, I'm allowed to use my Kinsect to interact with the environment. And caveat C, we are allowed to use cannons and ballistas during Zora Magdaros fights, since it's required to even progress through the fight. Second, no cheating, modding, or exploits. And third, our goal is to beat every required story mission in the base game of Monster Hunter World. I technically have the Iceborne DLC installed, mainly for quality of life improvements more than anything else, but due to time constraints, we're just going to be aiming to complete the base game for now. You'll see why in a minute. With the ground rules laid out, let's get into it. We sprint our way through the tutorial, ignoring literally everything along the way, get to Astera so I can skip through everyone's dialogue, and finally get to my item box so I can equip my insect glaive. There we are. Look at our little bug buddy. Who's gonna kill everything he sees? Who's gonna kill everyone? It's you. Yes it is. Oh yes it is. Alright, confession time. I've never used an insect glaive. Like, at all. From what I understand, they're amazing when it comes to mounting monsters and zooming around the air, but other than that I have no idea what I'm doing. Which is probably a good thing, if I'm being honest. No good habits to break. Alright, first mission. Kill a bunch of Jagras. How hard can it be? Was that a 5? So yeah, this is what this entire run looks like. Launch Bobby Bug, recall Bobby Bug. Question what you did to deserve this. Repeat ad nauseum. Thankfully, you don't have to attack and recall over and over again. Bobby can actually attack repeatedly until his stamina runs out. But every time he successfully recalls, he regains a large portion of his stamina back, so you can't just go bugs to rugs all the time. And while my Kinsect can do decent enough damage while fighting one-on-one, fighting large crowds is another matter entirely. He basically just gets stuck in the middle, and it becomes impossible to focus fire on individual monsters. He can hit flash bugs though, which is helpful in its own way. However, our real bread and butter move, at least for small monsters, is our Kinsect's Cloud Attack. For those unaware, anytime I use the marking attack, my Kinsect goes out and begins attacking whatever I marked automatically every few seconds. Normally it's more effective to just direct the bug myself, but using the mark ability causes my Kinsect to generate a cloud that I can activate by hitting with another marking attack. And considering my Kinsect's current cloud ability is poison, this is absolutely devastating to anything with a tiny health pool.
A death by inches.
You love to see it. Don't mind the loading issues there. Despite my computer being relatively beefy, it still can't handle this game on anything above low settings. So, with one mission under our belts, it's time to look at how upgrades and forging is going to work in this run. And the answer is, it's really not. Here, let's look at the first insect glaive I have. There's only one bit that's important, which is this. Sever boost. Considering my current Kinsect does sever damage, we want this. However, upgrading my weapon further doesn't increase the Kinsect damage, and it doesn't increase the sever boost any more than its base amount. So yeah, upgrading my weapon is a complete waste of resources. For everyone that was begging me to do a base weapons only, no sharpening run, you're getting your wish. What we will be upgrading is our Kinsect itself. Right now we've got 2, one for severing and one for blunt damage. As you can see here, we've got a few stats to pay attention to. You've got the attack type, the dust effect, the element of your bug, which you can change later in the game, and the stats themselves. For my purposes in this run, the only thing I care about is power. Normally you'd only care about speed, since getting your bug to gather extracts from monsters is the actual point of using a Kinsect, but since increasing the speed doesn't actually increase how fast we can attack, power all the way. So after upgrading Bobby to level 2, it's time to take on our next story mission, the Kestodon. The extra damage is definitely helpful, but it was around this time that I realized that, for certain monsters, I'm going to have to aim my attacks. Hitting a Kestodon in the face does little to no damage, while hitting their bodies is way more efficient. This will come into play with bigger monsters too, so might as well get used to aiming my shots now. And after slowly murdering an entire family by beating them over the head with a beetle, we finally get to our first large monster hunt. Time to see if beetles are better than bombs. Bobby, I choose you! Go for the eyes! In all honesty, this style of play really is just a slightly more involved Pokemon battle. Just throw out your Pokemon buddy, tell them to attack or retreat, and dodge the occasional attack that flies your way. And while the fact that I can attack from an incredible range is not lost on me, I am a little upset at how bad the damage is. Seriously, launching rocks from my slinger probably would have been doing more damage than this. But after what can only be described as a grueling amount of button mashing, the Great Jagras finally goes down. What's that timer say, nearly 15 minutes? For the first boss? Yeah, no, that's cool. Really excited that every boss is going to be a DPS race against the mission timer. Alright, let's see who's next. Big Bird? That you? My herbs and spices! Well, guess you have to die now. Oh, I did figure out another Kinsect mechanic that should help out with our fights though. Turns out, if you feed Slinger ammo to your Kinsect, it gives them a boost. Most pieces of Slinger ammo only give your bug a bigger stamina bar, which is helpful, but if you can find any Slinger ammo that's dropped from injured monsters, like the piercing pods our Dodo friend just so kindly provided to us, then the Kinsect gets a double damage boost, which, considering this is our only method of attacking, is extremely helpful. Normally you could just jump onto a monster with a Clutch Claw, attack the monster with a special Clutch Claw attack, and get these damage boosting pods pretty easily. But guess who can't do that? This guy. But hey, at least the Kuluyaku is finally down. You know, this wouldn't take nearly so long if we started using traps. I should probably do that. I buy a few trap tools, make a mental note that I'll need some thunderbugs, sleep herbs, and paralyzing mushrooms, then go after the next monster on our hit list, the Pookie. It's a pretty slow moving monster, and considering our longer range, we should just... The hell? What are you doing here? No! Stop! Come back! Don't leave me with him! Oh shit. Whew. Okay, now then. Where were we? Pookie, Bud, why are you just picking fights with everyone you bump into? Everything alright at home? As to be expected, the longer range of the Kinsect attacks makes this fight pretty easy. You can even wail on it whenever it tries to eat, with pretty solid results. Hey, tail carve. I'll take that. Okay, sorry, that was a little insensitive. Oh, good, now I'm stunned. Okay, Jesus, I get it. Don't take your tail. Just let me drink my antidote. You know what? Never mind. I don't need it anymore. Oh, no. Not that again. Get on in there, Bobby. You don't have lungs. This is taking forever. What are we at? 20 minutes in? You know what? Change targets. See if we can't get a little bit more bang for our buck. That's a little bit more than 3 damage, yeah. Good God, we're coming up to the 30-minute mark. This is ridiculous. I could have beaten an entire Dark Souls challenge run at this point. Come on. Come on. There we go. Skulls on the minimap. Finally. Now we just lay out a little housewarming gift. And there we go. Pookie done. That took incredibly too long. The good news though is I'm almost able to upgrade my Kinsect a bit more. Just need to go find some materials. And after a quick bit of exploring, we've got what we need. Here you go, buddy. Put some Earth Crystal in your diet. Looks like we can't push forward again yet. What I would give to be slightly ahead of the weapon curve instead of always slightly behind. Well, better get a move on. Next up on our hit list is the Baroth. Since we have to wait for the cart to get to its destination before we can begin the hunt, I decided to spend my time in typical American fashion, decimating the ecosystem and taking everything and anything that isn't nailed down in the name of research and development. Eventually, despite many interruptions and sidetracked scholars, we get to our final destination, where we can finally get to work battling the Baroth. Time to see what our upgraded bug can do.
What am I doing with my life?
Okay, it's not all bad news. Turns out if we can get the mud off of Baroth's body, we can do about 5 damage per hit instead of 2. Not exactly the greatest increase in gains, but that's still doable damage. At this point, we're just gonna have to take what we can get. And between focusing fire on specific body parts and occasionally slipping in a bit of poison here and there, Baroth eventually goes down after 20 minutes of mashing the Y button. Still not the greatest results, but at least the time is going down instead of up. Moving right along, let's go hunt ourselves a Gyarados. If memory serves, we might actually have an advantage on this fight. Don't want to get my hopes up, but maybe. Let's see, there's the horseshoe crab, and if Bobby can knock him over really quick. Oh yeah, there we are. That's a red drop. Damage buff right from the start of the fight. You gotta love it. It's a good thing too. My damage is upsettingly low, even with the buff. This fight isn't too bad though. Just launch the bug towards Gyarados, mash Y, and walk around him in a neat little circle. Okay, that's fine. Just need to chug down a Mega Pot. Nothing to be— oh god, not the mud! Well, the damage buff was nice while it lasted, but at least he's taking his lumps. It's not too difficult to hit him in the face, and god damn it, not again. But overall, he's really not that bad. I do my best to act enticing, finally trap my boy here in a net of my own devices, and finish the hunt in a little less than 20 minutes. Still too long for my liking, but anything below the 20-minute mark at this point feels like a win. Before we press on, maybe it's time I actually invest in some new armor. I'm mainly looking for defensive options, be it actual physical defense, evasion, or extra health. Anything that would normally boost your damage in some way, shape, or form doesn't work on the Kinsect damage, so that helps narrow down what kind of armor I'll be using. And to be fair, I'm okay with that. The less monsters I have to grind out with the Kinsect, the better. Up next is Tobi-Kadachi, which, if memory serves, is a pretty hard hitter. To make sure I don't get carded again, I'm gonna need some yums. Yes. 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 Yes! If there was ever an animation that could rejuvenate my soul, that's it right there. Look at that little garnish drop. How can you hate anything with things like this in the world? Alright, electric squirrel time. Beautifully, his tail is actually his weak point, and while it's normally super dangerous to get anywhere near the thing, Bobby doesn't mind. Combine that with some falling rocks and some well-rehearsed choreography routines, and you've got yourself a Tobi-Kadachi hunted in a little less than 20 minutes. Time for bigger and meaner things. How about a T-Rex? Oh god! Hey, watch where you're throwing that thing. I have instant regrets. Anjanath is weakest in the tail, head, and, wings? I guess those are wings. He's not so bad, though. Just keep your distance, and he really can't— ooh! Well, I didn't want to do this, but you've left me no choice. You mess with me, you mess with my big brother. Yeah! Get him! Nice. And now I'll kick him while he's down! Okay, message received. You can take it from here. Friendly! Friendly, damn it! Oh, no you don't. This cheerleader is a quick learner. Not gonna get caught by that one again. Man, as long as these fights take, I swear I run around the entire map at least once before they're done. But at least the fights are sticking to roughly the 20-minute mark. The price I pay for a safer playstyle, I guess. With Anjanath slain, it's time to attack Zora Magdaros. But before we get to that, we can finally upgrade our Kinsect. At this point, we can dictate what our bug is going to focus on, either power, speed, or healing. I honestly forgot that my bug even offers healing most of the time, so we're going straight power! So, with our newly evolved bug on hand, it's time for Zora. This is going to be a bit of a mess. First things first, we have to use the cannons and ballista to weaken them up. Wish there was another way that was more in line with the spirit of the run, but when a game wants you to have an epic siege battle with a moving mountain, you don't ask questions. But once Godzilla breaks through the barrier, we can finally give our new bug a try. Go, Robert! Earn your new name! Holy hell, 16? Damn, buddy, I'm so proud of you. Ah! Still takes 2.5 stamina bars just to break 1 magma core, though. But hey, progress is progress. And once more for good measure, and we're good to go. Oh yeah, Nergigante. Forgot about you. Yeah, I'm sure this will go well. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Don't die. Just keep moving. Oh, thank God, a cutscene. Oh my God, what is this guy on and where can I get some? And he's dead. Look over there. It's John Dark Souls. We're saved. Yeah, no, it got away. Story, 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 and we're here. The Coral Highlands. New lands means new monsters, and new upgrade materials. Can't wait to see what Robert turns into next. Until then, though, let's fight a sugar glider, shall we? With Robert's new damage numbers and my slowly increasing technical abilities, the run is becoming slowly more and more manageable. Combine that with a little bit of help from the environment every now and again, and this monster basically hunts itself. Paolumo captured. What's next? What the? Bone Wheel? Bone Wheel? Go back to Dark Souls where you belong, you bony piece of shit. Remember those numbers I was so excited about earlier? Yeah, that didn't last very long. We're starting to dip back down into single digits again. It was nice while it lasted. I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't having fun, though. I'm definitely getting a weird sense of satisfaction with this build. I just kind of wish it could take advantage of a few other methods of damage is all. You know, for science. Oh hey, Exposition Grandma. What are you doing here?
This is from Zora Magdaros?
What? No, that's my lunch. Ooh, I can send cats on adventures now. Go forth, my little friends. Find me the monster parts I'm too lazy to farm myself. Oh my God, I just sent those cats to their deaths. I upgrade Robert a little bit more, upgrade the defensive properties of my armor a little bit, then Spider-Man my way up the Coral Highlands until we find our next prey, Legiana. Normally, this boss is a bit of a pain to fight, since it constantly flies around unless you bring it down with flash pods. But because Robert here is more than happy to meet Legiana in its element, this fight is a lot easier than I was expecting. And after the usual 20 minutes or so that comes with every fight, Legiana goes down. Alright, what's next? Oh no. Nice puppy. Good puppy. Oh god, please, no, not the face! Exposition, Grandma, you're back!
What are you doing? Go!
Yep, don't have to tell me twice.
We can't leave him.
Oh yes, we can. Alright, fine, we'll save Grandma. Odogaron is fast, and it's definitely one of the more aggressive monsters I've fought up to this point, that's for sure. Combine that with the bleeding attacks it does, and you've got a pretty rough fight on your hands. Thankfully, most of its body parts are weak to sever damage, and so long as he has the buff, Robert is actually doing some pretty hefty damage. And once you know Odo's movesets, it doesn't take much longer to overpower it. In fact, I think that clear time is a little shorter than usual. So, you know, go team. Up next is my two favorite monsters from the series. Staples, really. Say hello to Rathalos. Similar to the Odogaron, Rathalos has a lot of large weak spots that Robert can take advantage of. Between the tail, the wings, and his head, it's actually difficult to do less than 10 damage a hit. And while Rathalos is usually a pain to fight because of the constant air time, our Kinsect brings him back down to Earth pretty easily. Repeat as needed, and eventually the Rathalos goes down. On to the next one. That's right, it's time for the big boy himself. The monster whose scream was the only alarm that worked for me when I worked on night shift. Diablos.
You better hope your armor holds up or you're gonna get gored.
Yes, thank you, Guild Lady. Very useful input. Diablos is a bit rough for my build. Turns out he's pretty resistant to sever damage. The only place he's really weak to it is his belly, which my Kinsect struggles to reach consistently. Thankfully, as I start to break off parts of Diablos, the weak points become a bit larger. So long as I can keep breaking him down, I can... Okay, one shot kill noted. It's a hard fight, and with a lot more dodging and careful aiming than I'm used to. But after nearly 30 minutes of running, screaming, and occasionally dying, Diablos finally goes down. We've got our last fight with Zora Magdaros coming up next, so I decided it was about time that I updated my wardrobe. I may look hideous, but at least I can carry cannonballs like a champ and give them all extra damage. So with all that said and done, let's see how this goes. Well, the Magma Core section is about the same as before, just dance until it's dead. But we've got a new trick up our sleeve as well. If Robert can reach them, there's some stalactites up above that can do some extra damage. Go on, Robert. Bring honor to the Firebomb Goddess. Come on. Any day now. Ah, there they go. Once more, with feeling. Oh shit, Robert, why did you do that? Oh, would you look who it is? What are you doing here, buddy? It's not time to fight you yet. Get out of here. Look, even Zora wants you off. There we go. And don't come back for at least 1 or 2 more missions. Ah. What was I doing again? Oh, right. Mashing the Y button. Eventually, I get forced into Phase 2, where I have to use cannons and ballista. And without much delay, Godzilla finally goes down after taking a Dragonator to the abdomen. And with that, that's about 66% of the base game done. That's right, we're in high rank quests now. You know how this works. Take old monsters, give them more HP and a few variations, and fight them all over again. First up was a Pookie Pookie. Not much to talk about here, just a slightly beefier version of the previous fight. But with the new materials popping up in all the high rank areas, I can finally evolve Robert into his final form. Looking good, Robert. Or should I say, Bobbert. Up next is a high rank Anjanath, and this is actually a great time to mention 2 things. First is that Bobbert no longer does poison damage. He's all about the blast damage now. Your mother would be so proud. And second is that high rank monsters deal high rank damage. The blast damage is actually really great. Not only do the individual smaller blasts deal a decent amount of damage, but when they finally build up, each explosion deals 120 damage. Good stuff all around. It was around this time that I started to implement a general strategy too. Send in Bobbert with an explosive attack, follow up with 2 regular attacks, then repeat again and again until low on stamina. This method guaranteed that we were getting about as much DPS as possible throughout the fight, which should hopefully shorten my hunt times a little bit. And believe it or not, I think it does. About 17 minutes on that Anjanath kill. Not bad considering it's a souped up high rank. Alright, what's next? Whoa! Pink Raytheon! Pink Raytheon! Oh no, my nameless orphan cat! Pinky here is basically just a hyper-aggressive Raytheon with a new paint job. Nothing we can't handle. What the? Legiana? The heck are you doing here? Ow! Not so loud! Why would you... Game, I know you're trying to tell me I need better armor and that I need to grind, but so help me God, I refuse to fight a monster twice with this build. Refuse. I don't have time for your gameplay loops, take it up with someone playing correctly. After everyone decides that bullying Raytheon is the new hotness, Pinky and I spend a little quality one-on-one time together. Nice tail cut, Bobbert. And after a little more than 15 minutes, Pink Raytheon goes down. Okay, there we go. Bobbert, give her a little tap, would you? There, that should... Oh boy, we should beat this game a little faster. I think my computer's starting to reject it. Oh look, it's Big McLarge Huge. Man's built like 2 refrigerators.
Raise your hand or paw if you're with me. Any of these jaggy brains up for a challenge?
These two.
What? No, I'm already doing a challenge.
Have fun.
Don't die out there.
Why would you say that? Well, here we are. Elder's Recess. Only a few Elder Dragons between me and the end of the game. How bad can it be? Yes, hi, hello. I'm sorry, I don't speak Shakalaka. Can you? Oh, you're leaving now. The fuck? Yep, just a few Elder Dragons. This is fine. We're gonna be fine.
Run! Smash! Full power!
Wait, which one? Run or smash? I can't do both. Alright, whatever, we can handle this. I've knocked you down twice already. What's the third time? Ah, my virgin ears! Just gotta get away. The hell? I was at full health. Okay, everything's fine. Everything is... What? What kind of hitbox is that? Okay, dive bomb. Got it. Leap of faith to escape. Got it. Leap of faith. Leap of faith. Why didn't you leap of faith? So I needed some beefier armor, which means I had to hunt a few high rank monsters. It went well, but after a few small upgrades to my armor and a few new pieces, I'm actually able to... Angry Pickle. Angry Pickle! Well, at least he can't make it past Urga. Oh god, fucking run! Whew. Alright, that should be enough for my new armor pieces. Just a few keepsakes for the road, and oh shit! Alright, stylish new digs acquired. Alright, look, it may look stupid, but it's got a lot of defense. Don't laugh. Don't laugh! Anyway, back at it. My defense is higher, my leaps of faith are actually working properly, and things just seem to be going better overall this time around. Unfortunately, Elder Dragons can't be captured, which means that even though I can get Nergigante down to near death in about 16 minutes, I have to finish it off in order to win, which is going to add a good chunk of time. But despite it all, Nergigante eventually goes down. Good work, Bobbert. 4 more to go. I take a few extra seconds to accessorize my armor. Still not great, but a little better. And double check all my stats to make sure we're ready for the last push of the game. Crit Eye does nothing, by the way. It just happens to come with the glasses. But come on, they're cute. And it's not like I'm going to trade them in for this. Alright, moving on. Valhazak, the Elder Dragon of Miasma and Death. Funnily enough, this boss fight is easier than most of the fights I've had up to this point. He moves slowly, telegraphs his strongest attacks so that I have plenty of time to move out of the way, and because all of my armor focuses primarily on status defense, his effluvium attacks can't do anything to me. Bobbert does pretty significant damage too once he's buffed up. All in all, a pretty disappointing fight. After that Nergigante fiasco, I was expecting a bit more from the Elder Dragons. But then again, I've always thought Valhazak was the easiest, so let's push on to the next one. Kushala Daora, a dragon of metal and wind. Normally this fight gives me all sorts of hell. And don't get me wrong, this is still a rough fight. But Bobbert holds his own pretty well, and his extra range means I don't have to get too close to all the wind gusts. We got any Mothra vs. Godzilla fans in the audience? No? Alrighty then. Normally, like Nergigante, this fight would have taken longer. But with a little clever thinking, we can push this fight along at a decent pace. Quickly, Bobbert, hit them while they're down. That's what heroes do. It definitely takes a bit longer than Valhazak, but eventually, slowly, we get there. Kushala down. 2 more to go. Up next is Teostra. Not gonna lie, this one has me a bit worried. Every time I've tried to fight him normally, I usually get my ass handed to me. Melee, fire, and explosives don't usually blend that well. But, in typical Backlogs fashion, this build breaks the game. Seriously, look at this. I'm all the way on the other side of the arena and still hitting him for full damage. I mean, yeah, sure, it's bad damage, but it's mindless. 0 risk involved. Just press Y to win. And also, stay out of the explosions. And with this ultra long range strategy perfected, there's really not much Teostra can do aside from die. Almost sad, really. But there's no time for that. We're in the home stretch. After defeating literally every story mission this game has thrown at us, it's time to fight the last Elder Dragon in our run, Xenojiva. Let's see how... Oh no! That guy that showed up only once in the entire story!
I've gotta stop it!
No, McLarge Huge! Your muscles aren't allowed in this challenge run. Come on, Bobbert. One final push. So, Xenojiva. One of the largest monsters we've ever fought, this thing is basically one big walking weak point. If it glows blue, it's a good place to hit. It also moves exceedingly slow, so staying out of the range of its attacks is pretty easy. And on top of that, it also drops slinger ammo pretty frequently, so our damage for this fight is actually pretty good. And because of how big it is, once Bobbert hits a sweet spot, I can usually focus on avoiding attacks without worrying about aiming, which is nice. So yeah, phase 1 is really a non-issue. Just so long as you avoid all the AoE attacks, and don't get stunned. Oh, and watch out for Dragonite's Hyper Beam, but so long as you remember that your bug has basically unlimited range, all the attacks that normally give every other weapon a hard time just become large windows of opportunity. Hell, even his superpowered Meteor laser attacks lose their intimidation. Just send in the bug. Do you think the developers ever thought we'd bully their game like this? Like, do you think they know? Surely they have to know. And so, with one last bit of bullying, Xenojiva, allegedly the most powerful monster in the New World, goes down without much of a fight. This build is dumb. And with that, we've done it. Every story mission of the base game completed with just a Kinsect. I'll be honest, I was worried at first. Those first few fights were definitely pretty close, and the way the monster difficulty was ramping past my Kinsect's abilities was a bit worrisome. But with a little determination, it turns out pretty much anything is possible in this game. And with that said, we're all done here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Consider liking and subscribing, and maybe ring the bell if you want to be annoyed by your phone whenever I upload a video next. But until then, take care of yourselves, be good to one another, and I'll see you all again soon.